flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This meeting is being live streamed by Chelmsford Telemedia and posted to the CPS website for interested community members to access and watch. In-person public participation will be taking place tonight in accordance with the Chelmsford School Committee Public Participation Policy. Anyone speaking tonight during our public input portion of the meeting has notified the Superintendent's Office of the desire to speak and has been provided with these guidelines. Upon request, written comments received no later than 12 p.m. on the day of this meeting will also be read and made part of the record of the meeting during the second public comment session. So welcome to this meeting of the Chelmsford School Committee. As you might have noticed, Superintendent Lang will not be with us tonight, but we have Assistant Superintendent Hirsch will be here to keep us keep us on track here. All right, so our first.
You leaning up against the lights. Can you put them back on?
I kind of liked it. It was nice.
Little mood light.
Just press the middle button. The middle one of,
All right.
okay.
We can keep going. All right. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes for our regular meeting on April 15th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular school committee meeting of April 15, 2025.
Second.
Okay, any comments or corrections on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention. Okay, so 4 aye and 1 abstention. All right, next up, we will hear from our CHS student rep.
All right, so the senior survivors competition has started this week. The first round will be over on Friday. And additionally, the CHS Theater Guild is hosting their first ever cabaret. Tickets are being sold at lunches, also with the QR code that is accessed by their Instagram page. And additionally sold at lunches are cotillion and prom tickets. And then the new school committee student representative spot is the race is starting to happen to see who's going to fill in for Lana. So far, there's 7 kids in the classroom. They're all working on getting their 100 signatures, letter of intent, all that fun stuff. So it's going to be fun to watch this election.
So you need 100 signatures. That's more than you need to
That's more
run the
than
school
I
committee.
Put it in the work.
We're interested.
That's great.
great.
Well, thank you, Patrick. All right, any other good news to share?
Yeah, so we have great news. We had town meeting last night and the school budget was passed. Thank you very much to the town meeting reps and the town in general. The capital budget was passed as well as foster transportation reimbursement from our federal funding. So thank you to everyone.
Good, all good news. Okay. All right, anybody else have any good news to share? Okay, if not, we'll move on. It doesn't look like we have anybody for public comment tonight, so we'll move to new business. I think we have a couple of presentations to begin with.
We do. So we're going to welcome the Center Elementary School tonight. They're going to be the first up for presentation. So I'd like to welcome Principal Fullreader and Assistant Principal Omobono. They can come on up and have a seat at the table, and they have their clicker, and it looks like they have a lot of guests with them tonight, which is great.
We have Center rock stars.
Yes, we brought half of our third grade team with us today, but you're going to learn a lot and enjoy their opportunity to hear their writing. So I just wanted to share a little about how this came about. I had an opportunity to visit a class, and they had just done a tech set, which we'll talk about a little bit more, but on honoring our traditions. And some kids were using the dictionaries that the Rotary had donated, and it was just really exciting to see them do some research and look through those, and they made connections with each other about things, shared traditions that they were celebrating, and I had a chance to look at their writing, and so that's kind of how the idea was hatched to bring in our authors and some of our editors. We have 2 of our teachers as well. So for students, we'll introduce them again when they come up to present their work. But we have Aria and Mackenzie, if you guys want to give a wave. And Zaid and Rio. And we have Tanvi and Shishi. Genesis should be coming, hopefully. If she comes a little bit later, we'll have her present if we're still presenting. But we want to turn it over to them so that they can share their writing with you. And again, what I was saying is they had different text sets with themes. One of them, like I said, was the honoring our traditions, and students are asked to think about all the books that they've read in that text set, and then there's a writing prompt related Anything else you want to say to that?
Additionally, we know that even years ago when we had purchased FPC Classroom, they have so many opportunities. The more kids read and write, the better they get at reading and writing. So these are just real authentic, engaging ways that they're able to make connections to their reading and their writing. And you'll see that they all did different things based on what they wanted to write about.
And these are pictures of the text sets. The other one was Animal Journeys, and you'll hear more about these books when the kids present. All right, and the first theme was honoring traditions, as I mentioned. And they did the interactive read-alouds and then explored some traditions that they wanted to share and researched them. So first, we will have Shishi is going to come up and share hers first.
Here, Diana. She come right here, love. Here you go.
My culture, Ghana Independence Day. My culture celebrates Ghana Independence Day on March 6th. This is when Ghana got its independence. When there was slavery, the Queen of England took over Ghana because she wanted the gold that is found in nature in Ghana. Slavery lasted until 1957. Ghana was the first country in Africa to gain their independence. The person who led the charge for independence was Kwame Nkrumah. Now, other people across the world come to celebrate Independence Day in Ghana. When it happens, the King of Ghana comes to the celebration to watch. People dance and soldiers stand at attention, holding flags. The celebration occurs at Accra, which is the capital of Ghana. People join the celebration in person or watch it on television. Some people have a party or a simple celebration. On Independence Day, people wear kente clothing, which consists a cloth of a pattern of yellow and black with accessories of gold. They wear gold rings and necklaces and headpieces. I have never gone to an Independence Day celebration, but I'm looking forward to going someday.
Want to say any questions? You're okay to answer a few questions? Anyone have any questions for Shishi?
Just a comment. I actually didn't know that history of Ghana, and that's very interesting. And thank you for sharing that. That's a powerful history, and I'm glad you're here to tell that story.
And I love that she's wearing her kente cloth. And if you notice, she has some beautiful gold shoes on as well. So she asked if she could dress in an outfit reflective of the tradition. And I said, of course. So we appreciate that.
Thank you very much. That was great.
All right, this is perfect timing. We're going to ask Genesis to come up, and she's going to talk about Easter.
Right here.
You get the hussy.
Easter. My honoring tradition is Easter. Easter is always on a Sunday. In 2025, Easter was on April 20th. On Easter, we go sometimes to church, not all the time. If we go to church, we usually have an Easter egg hunt planned by the adults. The older kids have to do the hunt for candy. We make sure the younger kids find plenty of eggs. We have another Easter egg hunt at home. There's always a golden egg, which is special to find. Sometimes we have family and friends come over to celebrate Easter. In addition to candy, we eat fufu, which is a spicy soup made with yams and meat. Any questions?
Do you have any questions?
I just want to try the yam. What is it? Yam and what soup?
Uh-huh.
What was the soup you said?
Yam and meat with spicy soup.
I'm down. If you ever have a chance.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the last author for honoring our traditions is Tanvi.
Diwali. Diwali is an Indian festival celebrated in late October or early November. It is also known as the Festival of Lights. It is celebrated because of victory over darkness. We eat food called biryani, a spicy rice with chicken and naan, a type of flatbread. There are many different types of curry that we eat during Diwali. We also have different dresses to wear. It is a time when we clean the house and wear new clothes. We decorate the house with lanterns. We might have parties or get together with family and friends. We light candles called diyas. Most Indians put them near the doorway of the house. We do this to keep the evil spirits away. Diwali's best colors are red, orange, yellow, gold, and dark blue. Sometimes in India, we throw big parties and have fireworks. We have dances and lots of food. Diwali is one of the most popular festivals in India.
Anybody have any questions?
My
Any
food is gonna be on-
questions?
I'm going to talk about food, so let somebody else.
Do you help prepare the food for this event, or do you just watch mom and dad do it?
Sometimes we prepare.
Yeah.
All right, great.
What's your favorite part of Diwali?
I like it when we do the fireworks, the firecrackers.
That's fun.
All right, well, thank all three of you for sharing your traditions with us.
Thank you.
We're going to bring the teachers up next as well. So this is the other prompt, Amazing Animal Journeys.
Sure. So the so the tech set that we used was the Animal Journeys, and oh yes, I'm Miss O'Keefe. Sorry.
Also third grade.
Yes. So we use the Animal Journey tech set to help introduce the district prompt, which is having them write about the seed is lively, the egg is
Patient.
Oh, yes. So that one, and it's a nice way to kind of introduce the kids to a more familiar way of writing about reading with some animals that they might be more familiar with, and then go into more of a
Abstract.
abstract, complex way of writing.
And they're putting themselves in the first person. So we read a text set based on animals first. We let them pick one, and then they're supposed to put themselves in person as the animal, write a story about their journey. The district prompt, they're supposed to do a similar thing, but they're putting themselves in place of different objects. It could be a rock, an egg, a seed, a butterfly. So that's a little more complicated. So this is kind of like a warm-up.
Yeah.
Get them some practice.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids enjoy these though because it's one of them is like a husky dog, penguins. What else is there?
The falcon.
Oh, the falcon. Yes.
Yep.
So with these, we ask that they take some facts from the text set. So you'll notice that you might hear like about migration, where they travel, what they might eat, but also add some fictional aspects to it also. Any questions?
I have a question. It might be too early in the presentation for this, but do you, I'm a former teacher, do they go through revisions and editing? Do you go through that process?
We
With
do,
them?
yeah.
Is that part of this program?
Yeah, so first drafting.
Yeah, we kind of take more of like a step-by-step approach, which I find is helpful. So we start by creating their setting to help give the setting like a visual so they can come up with some descriptive words. They build their characters. internal, external, and then we do graphic organizers to help with developing their problem of their character, how their character is going to solve that problem. And then we follow a story mountain. So it's kind of a lengthy process, but I feel like it kind of,
Prepares them for what.
yeah, and it
Writing
helps in the overall. They do a story mountain to help them visualize how their story is going to play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they write it, and then I have my kids, we revise on Google Doc. I like using Google Doc because I can make comments right in there. Sometimes we do peer revision, but yeah, we do a written draft and then we do a typed draft.
Okay, thanks.
Shall we hear them?
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
In terms of writing, so at this is third grade?
Yeah.
yeah.
So at third grade, they're already typing fluently?
Well, they actually, some of them. They're pretty
Yeah.
Some of them, if they're struggling, they can use the voice to text too.
Yeah.
For kids who like really struggle with it, so that's an option where they can speak into it and it will pick up their words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we also have them double check it, make sure it didn't pick up anything incorrectly. But a lot of them, it sometimes takes time, but they can type actually
Yeah.
more fluently than you
Yeah.
think.
They do, what is it?
Keyboarding without tears.
Yeah. So they love it.
Okay.
They love typing. Yeah.
And we also push the typing a little bit just because MCAS now is also,
Online, and they have
That's
to
a third
type up
grade
their
level.
responses.
so we haven't practiced it little bits at a time, but they still definitely write a draft, edit with pen and pencil, usually a red pen to edit, and then final draft. And if they have time, if like I have an early finisher, I'll let them type it.
Okay, so there is still the
Like
the actual
yeah.
writing out.
Yes.
To
Yes.
learn the
Absolutely.
spelling and all of
Yes,
these things
yes.
without the assistance.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
handwritten copy first.
And then
Yeah.
into the
And
Which
then
is
text.
actually really important because as we move along now with this technology,
I know.
you don't
and
need
by
to
middle
learn how
school,
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess they type a
Serious
lot.
issue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Is it too low? Okay, hold on. Here, take this back one. Stand up. Here, just take this one. Here we go.
I have to do that too for my chair, so.
Once upon a time, there was a bird named the peregrine falcon. On top of the icy snow mountain, the peregrine was heading to find food. She was on top of a snowy mountain. As the breezing wind blew past her, she thought, I'm kind of bored. Maybe I should go eat pigeons. From Alaska, she was going to Seattle, Washington, because that's where most pigeons are. She took off, and in the harsh wind, it was kind of hard to fly. But the peregrine falcon had feathers to keep warm in the wind. In the middle, while she was flying, she bumped into an angry horned owl who was looking to find food also. The horned owl was so angry that she wanted to eat the peregrine falcon. The peregrine was nervous and panicked, but she had an idea. She could go in circles to make the horned owl dizzy. Plus, she was the fastest bird ever, so she gave it a try. But the horned owl ate the peregrine's gills. That didn't hurt, said the peregrine falcon. While she was spinning in circles, the horned owl was so dizzy that she fainted and fell down. The whizzing wind pushed her down and she landed on a tree. The peregrine won the battle. After a few weeks, she was in British Columbia, a province in Canada. She rested on a nearby tree. After a few days, she woke up and took flight. Finally, at last, she was in Seattle, Washington, the United States of America. She saw a lot of pigeons on skyscrapers, on top of buildings, and on tree branches. In the end, she had a full tummy and was ready for the night. She flew onto a nearby tree and slept.
Wow.
And then he drew a picture of a peregrine falcon.
Oh, that's great.
I have two comments. The first is your descriptive language was excellent, and I really liked the way it flowed, where you had some short sentences and some long sentences, so it flowed really well. Nice writing.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then we have Rio. Whoops.
Finally, said a peregrine as he entered the city. Ooh, a peregrine, said a pigeon sarcastically. A very hungry peregrine, said the peregrine. The peregrine starts chasing the pigeon. They go past parks, buildings, and streets. Then the peregrine catches the pigeon. The pigeon tries to get away, but the peregrine's talons are too strong. Thump. Is that a human? Yelled the peregrine. The pigeon got away in the chaos and laughed at the peregrine. The peregrine was so mad that he took the human's necklace and flew off. Hey, give me that back, yelled the human. As the peregrine flew with the necklace, he was getting hungrier, so he went to a rooftop and looked around for food. He saw buildings, streets, and cars. Then he saw a pigeon. He got ready and took off. But when he got there, he saw cars, but no pigeons. He must have gotten away, said the peregrine. I'm starving here. Just then, a car came zooming at him. The peregrine barely escaped upward. On the rooftop, the peregrine saw another peregrine named Bob. Bob said, Looks like you've been through a bad day. Yeah, said the peregrine. Oh, what happened? Asked Bob. So the peregrine told Bob everything. After the peregrine told Bob about his day, Bob asked, Why do you have a human necklace? I took it when a human startled me and made me lose a pigeon, said the peregrine. Well, I need to get back to my family, said Bob. See you later, said the peregrine as they parted ways. Now the peregrine was on a mission to get food. He flew around, but there were 0 pigeons in sight. The peregrine was still determined to get food, so he flew around searching for pigeons. While the peregrine was flying, he saw no pigeons, so he gave up. Then, right in the corner of the peregrine's eye, he saw a pigeon, so he rushed after the pigeon as fast as he could. As he chased the pigeon, they ended up in an alley. The peregrine flew up, so the peregrine chased him up. Once the peregrine was up there, he did not see a pigeon. All he saw were rooftops. Then he saw a pigeon on another rooftop, so he snuck up behind the pigeon. Then he heard something, so he jumped out of the way. It was the human, and he had a stick. Give me that back! Give me my necklace back! Yelled the human as the peregrine flew off. That was a close one, said the peregrine. Then the peregrine saw the other peregrine, Bob, and the peregrine told him what just happened. Wow, did that really happen? Said Bob. It did happen. I might go back to see if the pigeon is still there, said the peregrine. When he got there, he saw a note that read, Sorry about your pigeon. If you give me back my necklace, I will give you food. So the peregrine left his necklace and came back later that day to find food, and he ate it happily. The end.
Excellent work, including so much dialogue. Good work.
Quite interested in this Bob character. My interest.
Really, really creative.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
A long journey. One cold September day in Alaska, I realized it was time to start my 8,000-mile journey from Alaska, where I am, to warm Argentina in South America. First, I flew to Yukon Territory in British Columbia. In British Columbia, the trees are thick and grow so close together that I cannot see the ground. Next, I went to Seattle, Washington. Suddenly, I saw a pigeon, one of my favorite foods. Yum! I swooped down and caught it. Then I went to the top of a building and ate. Later, I went to Utah. I saw a dove under me and caught it. I went to a ledge and ate. A day later, I went to the Texas coast because there are so many birds to eat, like the golden plover, laughing gull, and green-winged teal. I chatted with an old friend of mine and left. A few days later, I got to Panama. For a while, I traveled with a flock of Swainsons and broad-winged hawks. Then I split up with them and headed to Colombia. I was about to go to sleep for the night when a great horned owl swooped by. I hid in the bushes, and thankfully he did not notice me. The next day, I headed to Brazil and rested because tomorrow I would go to Argentina. When I woke up, I flew to Argentina where I would stay until March. The end. Fun facts. Peregrine falcons fly up to 18,000 miles in a year. Peregrine's predators are the great horned owl and golden eagle. 3. A peregrine falcon can fly up to 240 miles per hour. 4. Peregrines live on every continent except Antarctica. I hope you enjoyed the book. About the author. My name is Mackenzie and I am 9 years old. Some things about myself is my favorite foods are pizza, tacos, and Nashville chicken sandwich. I love reading and adventure. I am super good at math and love school. My favorite subject is math and social studies, and my favorite colors are pink, purple, gold, silver, and sunset. The end.
I love the inclusion of facts at the end. Also, I'm very impressed with your cursive, which I think is definitely better than mine.
Thank you.
I noticed that.
Thank you very much.
A Mother's Journey. One day in the rosy glow of the setting sun in mid-May, when Antarctica's winter has begun, me as a young female emperor penguin, I lay my first egg. It is my very first egg. The color is cream and it is shaped as a softball. My mate waddles fast to pick it up. During the next months, a little chick will grow inside. And all the while, my mate will keep it safe and warm from the fierce winter storms that blow across the Antarctica's ice. We sing for the last time until I return. Next, I join the line of female emperors marching away from the colony. I have to do my job. I have a hard job. I have to fill up my belly and feed it to my baby. I also have to feed myself. The closest food is more than 50 miles away, flopping on my belly to go get the food. We are trying to cross the big iceberg, but it is too big. So we jumped through the cracks in the ice and swam. Then we ended up at the other side of the iceberg. And then we jumped out and landed on top of the ice. Next, we jumped in the water and collected all of the fish I could. Then, all of a sudden, a leopard seal stole all of the fish and started to attack us. So we had to swim away as fast as we could to stay alive. We were so scared, but we happily got away. We all have everything we need, so we started to go home. Next, as we were heading home, there were fierce snowstorms, and we were afraid we weren't going to make it home. But then a lot of orca whales came up to us and said, Do you need a ride back to your home? We all said yes. Then after a long ride, we finally got there. Then we all got off of the orcas, and then we all ran to our babies and hugged them. We all were so excited. Then we all celebrated. The end.
Any questions? Oh, that's all right.
Take it very seriously.
Hi, I'm Aria. I am 9 years old, and I am from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. My favorite color is light blue. My favorite sports are soccer and basketball. I have 2 siblings and an older brother that is 12 and a younger sister that is 7 years old. I have a dog named Bruce, and he's so cute. My favorite subject in school is math and writing. In Andover, my dad owns a pizza shop, and
Tastes so good.
Excellent writing. Also, I'm very impressed with your drawing of the penguins. Those were really great.
Well, thank you all very much. You were excellent authors, excellent readers and presenters, so very impressed with third grade. You know, I think my son was third grade eating dirt still, so great job.
Thank you all.
We're going to get a picture of everyone outside.
Thank you all for coming.
We were doing a ninja
Just requires like attention. You did really well. That was good.
They're really good, very good.
Nice writing.
Very well-constructed stories and.
Was another
I just said that they're a tough act to follow,
Yeah,
but I actually think they were a wonderful introduction to lead us into what we're going to talk about tonight, because these wonderful children are why we're here talking about social emotional learning and counseling and sense of belonging. So thank you to the school committee and to our families at home for welcoming us tonight. I'm Shannon Bischoff. I am the district coordinator for social emotional learning and counseling. I am very excited to introduce the two colleagues next to me. I have invited members of our social work team to join us because we are nearing the end of our first 3 years since we've introduced our district social workers. So I'm really excited to talk about and highlight some of the work that they've been doing since they've joined us. This is Julie Hopkins. She is based at the high school, and this is Jalitha Broder, who is based at 4 of our schools, 2 of our elementary, and both at Parker and McCarthy. And we have 2 members of our team as well. Let me just that were not able to join us tonight. Carolina Zuliani, she's based at CHIPS. She is not actually one of our district-wide social workers. She's just based at CHIPS, but she does join our department meetings on a weekly basis and collaborates with us on all of our efforts in the department. And then Sean Dutcher, who is just returning from a maternity leave. She is home with her baby tonight, so we're here representing her. But I'm really excited. I'm going to let Jalitha and Julie have the microphone so that they can highlight some of the projects we've been working on. We always want to hear from families at home and from school committee. These folks on either side of me turn over any stone that needs to be turned over in order to remove obstacles for families and for students so we can see them soar here at Chelmsford. So I'm going to go to Julie first. She's going to talk a little bit about I Decide.
Thank you, Shannon. So I Decide is a drug use or substance use diversion curriculum that we are excited to have implemented at the high school level. And if there's a need for it beyond that, we can move it to middle school as well. But we're trialing it right now at the high school. And so it is a program that was developed by Mass General Hospital's Addiction Medicine Center. And it's evidence-based. It is designed to be delivered in modules. So if there is a drug infraction at the school, the student, instead of maybe being suspended in-house or out of school, they might join in this curriculum as well as a way to, bring them back into the school and have them build a relationship with the person that's delivering the curriculum to really understand what other resources they might need in the community to succeed in school and to also decrease their potential drug use. So the modules are about 45 to 60 minutes each. And so at the high school, we've been implementing it during our Pride blocks, which are about 45 minutes. So it takes about 4 to 5 sessions to complete the curriculum. And then after that, we just follow up with the students to make sure that they're meeting their goals that they developed during their curriculum and that they have all the resources that they need. And it's a nice way to create a relationship with them and follow them through the rest of their high school career.
Why don't you jump to a Table of Plenty? That way I don't have to move the microphone back and
Sure,
forth.
sure. So Table of Plenty is a partnership that we have fostered this year, and I know they do a lot in the community already. I was delighted to have met them. I didn't know about the organization previously. They're a nonprofit in town that not only are they very generous with what they have given to the families in the school district, but they also offer a community meal every Tuesday evening. I think it's from 5 to 7 maybe every Tuesday. No reservation required. You go in, you have a nice family sit-down meal, and it's open to everyone in need. They have been able to partner with us on multiple occasions, giving us gift cards for us to give to families before school breaks, which is important because a lot of families rely on the breakfast and free lunch programs at the school. So that helps them get through the vacation periods of time when we're not there. So that has been super helpful. But additionally, there was a big project that we did with them before February break, where their amazing volunteers went out and bought groceries for about 65 families in need that we had identified. They put together these beautiful packages for them to get their families through February break based on their dietary needs, based on how many children, how many people are in the house. And then we delivered the packages to each of the families' doors with gift cards attached to the bags and letters from Table of Plenty inviting them to their Tuesday night community meal. Lots of volunteers across the district were delivering these bags right before February break, and it was really amazing how many people came out to help. So Table of Plenty can't say enough about how generous they have been.
I'm going to hand it over to Jalitha. She's going to talk a little bit about our partnership with the Chelmsford Health Department this year.
Yeah, so we have partnered with the Chelmsford Health Department on a couple of different things. Last year, actually, I worked with the social worker in that department, and we came up with a curriculum for parents to support parents around and caregivers of children with disabilities. And it was really about supporting understanding the stress that these caregivers are under. And we had it at the library to invite, we started pretty much with like elementary, we kind of piloted it with like elementary families, especially helping them in the beginning stages too of like the supports, things they might need, things their children might need, and even respite for them, and trying to also create a little community within those groups. Like some of these parents don't know each other or know that there's other families struggling with the same things, which was wonderful. The social worker, she was great, and really enjoyed that and want to continue that. We also jumped into this fall, we attended the Chelmsford Fall Festival, which was great. We had a booth to kind of, it was great because we got to, again, see the other community resources and be able to partner and talk to some people face-to-face, especially also families, and students came over. Again, I'm lucky enough to have started 3 years ago. This will be my third year, so it's been really good getting to know the community. And some families didn't even know that we were there at the school district to help with the resources that we can. So it was great. It was really good to get a little more, to get out there a little bit. And as far as community resources, we've also created a pretty large database. It's really great. We have it categorized in tabs and sheets of all the resources that we've come across, which is great even over the 3 years. Like even little things, sometimes you come across different counselors, different therapists. You're like, wow, this person's great. I need to remember this, or who specializes in what, and it's great. It's nice and easy. We share it with other providers and other staff, and we can easily access things and help parents out. And obviously, we communicate a lot at who, especially with mental health supports, of who has openings, who's available right now, what treatment's been great, what's really worked. Some of that I'm getting back from feedback from families and parents and students that are going through some things themselves, so, which has been wonderful. And obviously, the supporting students and families. I think what's been really great, I just wanted to add, is that I am across 4 schools, but the 4 schools have been wonderful. And we've now kind of established within the school community who we are. So it's been really great coming in and getting the referrals and really weaving ourselves into the schools. Julie's great. She's at the high school level too, and going through the different houses and just being there. So now staff knows exactly when to kind of call on us and bring us in. And even families are like talking to each other, and some of them are like, hey, you should call Jalitha or reach out. So it's been great. It's been wonderful.
I want to thank both of them, and to our 2 other members who couldn't join us tonight. They have worked tirelessly the last several years. We've had to define this position while they were here. And we're still defining it. And I think, we started the position with the support of school committee to bridge between home and school. And I think that they have just led the way in making that happen and establishing partnerships, and both within our school community and within, the broader Chelmsford community. So extremely happy that they're with us. I know our work together has just begun. I do want to highlight for families at home, we included the link down below. We don't get many of them, but we really want families to know that they can access our social workers from home, and it can be from anything, for anything. If they are having difficulty getting their child to school with attendance, if they're new to the area and want to better understand what resources they can have access to, if they just want to be connected to neighbors, any question that they have, please send it our way. If they don't have the answers, they will find somebody who can support families. So we do check that. Again, we don't have many referrals come through that way, but we'd like to see more of them. So we wanted to share that out.
Great. Before you move on, can anybody have any questions or comments?
I have a question, and I don't remember the name of the program. The first one.
I Decide.
You talked about. Is that can you explain, is that run for everybody? Is that for just students who are having problems with addiction? What is it about?
Sure. I think the main referral line for that curriculum is if there's some kind of infraction at school. So if a vape sensor goes off at the high school, maybe that student participates in this curriculum. And the different modules are based on different types of drug use too. So I have the ability, and anybody delivering the curriculum has the ability of kind of catering the program to the student. So maybe we don't go beyond a certain type of drug or product. But it really opens the line of communication with that student and families too. I should say that there's always consent from guardians before we jump into this curriculum. And there's a contract that we sign together, and then we continue to follow the students. So we don't just deliver the curriculum and let them go, but we build a relationship and then go from there.
Did you say vape sensor?
Yes.
Is that something we have that I didn't know about? That so you have a vape sensor?
They're in the bathroom.
Just in high school.
That's amazing. I'm not telling any kids that. We got away with a lot when we were in high school. Sorry, go ahead.
So
Any other questions?
Who knew?
In addition,
I was just going to add one more thing about I Decide. So this is relatively new to us this year. We do have clinicians that have been trained both at McCarthy and at the high school. I think we're still in conversation about how to move forward with iDecide, but it was a clear need that we wanted education and learning for students in this area. So some of our counselors at the high school have been trained, and they're using it even one-on-one with students who might disclose in a counseling milieu, so not having anything to do with a disciplinary, response at all. So we feel like it's another tool to be able to educate and respond to student need right now.
I would like to also say Table of Plenty is amazing. They've been working in the community for so many years, and they're absolutely amazing. But other than the food insecurity, which seems to be a major area, the 65 families, is that across the entire district? It is, okay.
That was across the entire district, and they self-referred. So we put out a QR code in the Connect Ed flyer that goes out, the community-wide flyer, and they were able to self-refer. Table of Plenty actually didn't know who any of the families were. We were able to create a document so that it was private for us to be able to deliver the groceries. But they were just there with their volunteers to kind of get the supplies together and really financially support this program. So it was wonderful.
And I would say that number is probably lower than what's really.
Oh, yes, definitely.
There were definitely some families even I know of that didn't participate.
So that's apparently a major need in the community. What do you see as maybe the next biggest need in the community? Are we meeting them? Are we meeting those needs?
Mental health, yes, treatment. So this is where our growing kind of database of providers comes in, which is a live document because we all know organizations, change, different providers come on the scene, they leave. So there's different availability and different levels of providers out there. So sometimes we need to access a crisis team, sometimes we need to access a treatment center, sometimes we need to access just individual counseling. And Shannon will go on to describe some of the other referral resources that we have, like Care Solace and Cartwheel, which have been a game changer for us to be able to get families connected easily to providers.
I think what's difficult is you'll find a lot, especially with treatment for children, is the lack of providers. So we're looking at wait lists sometimes of months and months and months. It's actually kind of sad that I'm putting in referrals for things like in-home therapy and individual counseling, and I'm getting excited because it's an 8-week wait, and that's kind of sad instead of 6 months or more, which is tough. So Shannon, like I said, Cartwheel's been wonderful because we can at least get some patch through some sort of service beyond the mental health supports that we can provide to at the school, which you can go on to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in and please feel free to share more questions and even use our self-refer to ask more questions of us, because we always want to keep building our resources to support families, and you all might at home and our school committee might have ideas for us as well. So just to talk a little bit about our partnerships, we're continuing our partnership with Care Solace and Cartwheel. Care Solace is the referral service that we have been using post-COVID. This is, I believe, our 3rd year with them, and Cartwheel Care, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about, is like a virtual mental health partner that we have immediate access to. A couple of other highlights for this year. We have a new partnership with Clark University at the Mosakowski Institute. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Nadia Ward at the New Orleans School Mental Health Conference. She's a longtime Yale professor in psychology, and Clark was lucky enough to bring her on board to establish this new institute. She is like leading edge in terms of digital supports and technology supports for mental health for children. So really excited. Dr. Ward has been to Chelmsford several times. We're partnering with her on this new pilot on MyPeace, which is a Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 online technology support for kids where they can learn and establish their own tools and strategies to respond to their own symptoms, as well as us using it to establish goals for individual students. So just starting that pilot, but that's been a work in progress all year. We're really excited about that. Also exciting this year, we partnered with several school districts, including Westford and Billerica, Wilmington, Tewksbury, and Tingsboro, to do a multi-district suicide prevention training for all of our counselors, our social workers, and our psychologists. This was definitely a need in our district to just increase our skills, our tools, our training to respond to students' mental health needs, suicide prevention. So it was really exciting to have over 60 clinicians in a room together from multi-districts. We could not have put that on without the support of the prevention partners of North Middlesex, as well as the health departments in Westford and in Chelmsford. So really want to thank them for supporting those efforts. We hope to continue. The training was done by Dr. Larry Berkowitz. He's a member of the Riverside Trauma Team. He is our ongoing partner now. We get to use him for coaching and consulting, so we're excited to continue that learning into next year. So we also continue to have mental health awareness and suicide prevention curriculum that's implemented. I can talk a little bit about the high school in our freshman classes. And we use a screening tool after those lessons have been implemented in the classroom. And for our seniors as well, we use the NAN project to come in, and it's folks who come in and share their lived stories of recovery to mental health. They are also hosting our students at Empowering Youth Voices coming up on May 9th. It'll be the second year that they've invited us to that statewide symposium. Julie's going to go this year for the first time. We're really excited about it. Last year, we actually had a Chelmsford alumni who was the keynote speaker for Empowering Youth Voices. It was incredible. Another highlight is the addition of our STEP intervention classroom at McCarthy School this year. You all know that we had that at the high school level, and we've been advocating to add that to McCarthy, and the opportunity arose now that that's a 7-8 building. We have our whole cohort of 7-8 students there, and when we look at data and numbers, our referrals have been quite similar to McCarthy and the high school, so it definitely demonstrated the need for us to have that intervention classroom for students who have been out on extended absences for either mental health or medical reasons. So really excited to have that program up and running. So Care Solace, I just want to highlight that they've expanded their care services. Jalitha mentioned that at home, when families are trying to access ABA services, therapeutic mentoring, family therapy in the home setting, it's really hard to find. Our resources locally are at capacity. So Care Solace has extended. We don't just refer to them for individual therapy. We now can refer for ABA, for psychological assessment, psychiatry, intensive outpatient programs, partial hospitalizations, hospitalizations and stabilization, and substance use counselors and programming. So I provided the QR code and also the link. Families at home can self-refer. It can be anonymous through this Chelmsford site, or a member of our clinical team at school can also make a referral for a family in need. So here's just a breakdown of the mental health referrals to Care Solace for this school year. I looked back at the last one I presented, and it pretty much mirrors it, with anxiety, depression, trauma, being our 3 priority concerns that families and students are seeking support. I also want to mention that Care Solace is not just for our students, it's for our families and for our all of our colleagues here at Chelmsford School and their immediate families. So a wonderful resource. So Cartwheel Care, we have a very limited partnership with them. Previously, we just leaned on them for psychiatry, but now we have a partnership with them where we can access individual counseling, parent coaching, family counseling, psychiatry, in addition to them providing monthly webinars to our families and caregivers. You can find those in our districts more every week that gets sent home from central office when those are available. So we have 25 referrals per year. We're currently at 23, so by the end of the year, we will definitely reach our 25. And what that does is that's immediate access for us. So those therapists are in the waiting for us as our partners. So it's different than making a referral and having Care Solace find a therapist. These folks are therapists, and they immediately get on and do virtual support for our families. They have several multilingual therapists on their that are members of their team, and I currently looked, they're supporting families in Chelmsford who speak Haitian Creole, Portuguese, Spanish, and Arabic. They're always reaching out and asking, for needs, and when we present a need, they are looking because they want to be as accessible as possible to our families in need. So they've been a great addition to our team. I think Julie's our number one referral to Cartwheel.
They're great, and what's the best part about Cartwheel, I think, is that we're able to collaborate with them. So if guardians sign off that the clinician can talk to us, we have a direct line to each other, we can support them as best as we can in the school building and beyond, but it's a really nice partnership.
So just want to highlight referrals over the year. With Cartwheel, we just like to look at that. It provides us with some information around trends and when we might need to be most responsive to families. So, you can see in September and March, we had the most amount of referrals to Cartwheel. And now just a few highlights. I'm looking at the clock. Dr. Hirsch, I promise I know you guys have a long night. A few highlights around social emotional learning and sense of belonging. We're continuing to utilize Second Step, our SEL curriculum in grades. We're using that in it says grade K to 12, but it's not. We're using our Second Step curriculum in grade K to 8. This is nearing the end of our 4th year using that curriculum. They've made significant improvements to their middle school curriculum through a very big grant that they received. So we've been pleased with those changes. They also have introduced a new curriculum for high school. We are not piloting that yet, but we have been given access to it to start to take a peek at it and see what it might have to offer us. We have our SEL advisory block at high school where we still lean on Character Strong as an SEL curriculum to pull themes for kids learning about SEL in high school. We're continuing to use our Panorama Student Success and SEL platform. And we just completed our spring survey for looking at student competencies in SEL and sense of belonging. So I just closed those surveys. That data is not even hot off the press yet. We'll be looking at that over the next days and weeks. So excited to look at hopefully growth areas in those areas and also providing us opportunities to look at goals looking into next year to support students. I can say that looking at the fall data, one of our priority concerns that student let us know about is just emotion regulation, and that was across the board. So that's certainly something that we're going to be, establishing some goals around to support kids around. I also want to introduce DAYS. That's our Diversity, Access, Inclusion, and Support team. We used to, I guess what I want to, we used to say DEI and MTSS as two separate entities, but our goal over the last 2 years has been really to integrate the work of MTSS and DEI. So we came up with DAYS through some working groups, and we feel like that speaks to MTSS and diversity, equity, and inclusion. So those teams are meeting as a district team and also as a school team, and we're, in the process of setting some goals using the SEL student data to help us set goals for next year around that. We also have been utilizing U Science. It is not about science, it's about the science of you, meaning students get online and they're able to take some aptitude assessments which teach them about their talents and their strengths, and it provides them opportunities to think about careers and make career connections. We are now doing that in grades 7 through 12th. This was the first year that we did that. We piloted it a little bit in the spring before, but then we implemented it school-wide. Really excited about that. And it also helps students when they're thinking about courses that they want to enroll in, interests that they have, and just making connections where their personal strengths lie and what excites them about learning. Restorative practices. I am really excited to share that we've had a year-long learning experience with a wonderful team, Pathways to Restorative Communities, again, with our partnership with Prevention Partners of Northern Middlesex, who supported a lot of this learning. We were able to train our administration, several of our schools. We were able to train our recess aides, and we did a family and parent training at home. We are really, really excited about this work. I still feel like we're very much in the beginning stages of it, and it's been an incredible partnership. I also need to mention Katie Sims, because she has been my partner every step of the way to implement and plan for all of the restorative practices trainings. So we're really excited and looking forward to next year in terms of what are our next step goals with restorative practices. College Affordable is a team that we have worked with for a couple of years, but new, just starting last spring, was their Bridge to Equity program. College Affordable is supporting families with better understanding the pathway to college for all students. They are a nonprofit. They work with our Chelmsford families, providing webinars to support students and families that are applying for aid, how to fill out FAFSA forms. And their Bridge to Equity is sort of a, an elevated, supportive plan that they do to support families that need more help with this. So they lean on us and say, what families need and want help to gain access to college and make it more accessible and affordable. So they have been an incredible partner, and we meet with them as a high school counseling team like every other month, but we're in touch with them quite frequently. And if any families want to know how to access their webinars, we send it out in the weekly some more that is sent home by the district, as well as communication that comes from the counseling department. And then just last but not least is our Pocket Talks, which is a device that we've been using to support translation for our counselors, our social workers, and our admin at the schools. And we can use them during phone calls, during home visits, and it's been a wonderful addition. And again, our Prevention Partners team has been wonderful and donated that to Chelmsford Schools, so thank you to them. And that's it.
Well, I personally want to thank you not only for all the work, but also for reminding us that we do have students and families that have issues, that have needs. We get to see the best of the best. We get to see the great authors in the third grade, and we get to see the athletes and the musicians, and sometimes we forget that there are people that need help too, and the fact that you're out there doing that is it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment. So I happen to know a lot about your work, and I think that, first of all, that list is huge, and so I assume you don't have a lot of free time. But one of the things I will say is not only they cover a lot of angles, but it's very obvious that they care about the students, and not just the students, really, but the whole community at large. And the work you guys do is amazing, and I think it will benefit us for a long time. I think in the next few months, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty over the next few years, and as long as you're here, I feel better about having my kids in the school for sure. So thank you.
Best compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Any other?
Because I work with these.
You got to do it in a microphone, but yes.
Microphone.
You know what? I work with these guys all the time, and they're amazing. So since you guys have brought them on, truly partnerships with us. So they do amazing stuff. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any final comments, Susan?
I do. We hear about people who think that SEL initiatives don't belong in schools, and they can't be more wrong. And you've let us know about so many kids and families are struggling, and I'm really grateful that we have you, the social workers, the counselors in our school, because there is a great need for it. I've spoken with Shannon before, I've spoken with Dr. Lang. I hear from a lot of parents who are concerned about their kids in school, the behaviors of kids in school. I don't always have answers to give them about the specifics of what happens because I'm not privy to it and I shouldn't be. But I hope people who are watching and hear this know that this is something we all care about a lot, and we have a lot of programs in school to try to work on all these different needs, these social needs, these emotional needs that families have and students have, and I'm really grateful that we do, and I hope people are confident that it's something we all take seriously.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone.
Having now been through the whole cycle of education, having two daughters who are juniors in college, I really, really have to tell you that I think the most important part of the whole education process was the inclusion of the social emotional learning. When they get to this point in college, they're basically going to have to be working on their own in many, many ways, and building that resilience in the social and emotional component of intelligence is so, so important. So I can't agree more that this is a super important component of education. And I remember when we brought on the first social worker, John probably does too, and Dennis.
I do.
And I think Chelmsford, we just talked about what are the two greatest needs. We've got this food insecurity issue that I think all of society right now has a lot of insecurities, including that one. And the whole mental wellness component of life. It impacts all of us, but especially our young people. So I cannot say more how important your work is. And Shauna's not here tonight, but I wanted to say something about something she did, and Susan knows about this too. And she went out of her way to really help a family last year. We got a little bit involved in helping out as well. And that went beyond what the roles that you play are. And I bet each one of you has done the same thing for students in the whole district. So I really want to thank you, okay, for doing that, because I know that the role you play requires going out of the position and what the position is all the time, and what that fine line is, where do you go beyond the line? And so thank you for keeping in that struggle and for making the lives of so many people so much better. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you all.
All right.
I think when we hired, I think didn't have gray hair yet. It's
It's amazing.
been a long time. Been here
Right.
too long.
Okay, we're going to be moving along. We're going to go into, we're going to send this over to Joanna, but just another reminder about kindergarten registration.
Yep.
You never have too many reminders about signing up to come to school.
Register early and often.
Right, so our third day for a kind of group kindergarten registration is May 7th from 9 to 6 here at the central office. It's like 15-minute appointments, and you just bring in your little checklist of items. You sit with your future school clerk, and you register your student for kindergarten. Just a reminder, May 7th, 9 to 6 here.
Great. All right, the next item is the liaison assignments. We had these last week. I just wanted people to take a look at them and see if they wanted to make any changes. I didn't hear back from anybody. So everybody comfortable with what they have for this year? Nobody wants to?
Yes.
All right, so if that's the case, I'll take a motion to just approve these as our
Okay.
liaison assignments for this
I
year.
move that we approve the 2025-26 liaison assignments and contacts as presented.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
So I'll have the superintendent post those. Next item has to do with the Parker School building. So we had a meeting of the building committee last week, and we met with Left Field, which is our selected project manager, and they were great. They told us a little bit about themselves. They have a lot of experience. They have a lot of experience in this area. A lot of them live around here. They've done the Tingsboro Middle School. They did the Barica High School, which I don't know if you've seen that. That's amazing from what it used to be like. So it was great to meet them there. And then they kind of went through the process and the timeline. So they're going to meet with MSBA in a couple weeks to just get the MSBA approval for them being our project manager. And the next step then is for us to find a designer. And that process is a little bit different with the project manager. It was kind of on us and the building committee to interview candidates and make a selection. With the design process, we have to go through MSBA. And so one of the things they do is they put together a design panel to look at the designer choices and then interview and make selections. And the panel consists of 13 people. 10 of them are from MSBA, so they have the majority stake in this committee, but then 3 of them are from our building committee. And so the 3 people are usually the town manager, Mr. Paul Cohen is going to be on there, superintendent, and then a school committee member. So we figured that, since I was already on the building committee, that I would be best served to be on that. And we did vote at our meeting, but we also wanted to take a vote here just to make the appointment official, and then we'll move on to the next step once left field is officially part of the MSBA, so.
Give yourself some credit, it was a unanimous vote.
Give me a nailed it.
Okay?
Yep.
I move that we designate our chairperson, Dennis King, to serve as one of 3 representatives of the Chelmsford School District on the Parker Middle School Designer Selection Panel with the MSBA for the procurement of a designer for the Parker Middle School project.
Second.
Okay, any questions?
Just a quick comment.
Yep.
Awesome work on that. If anybody got to watch the Parker meeting, it was public televised, and I took a look after the fact. Great work. Thank you for doing it, Dennis.
Yeah, and if anybody watching at home, have you had a chance, it was a great meeting. I'm going to ask the superintendent maybe to kind of just do a quick summary of the timeline to see where, where we are, where we need to be, in this whole process. So maybe the next meeting we can do something like that. But,
And Pat Maloney also gave a good description of it at.
Last night,
yeah, at the town meeting, yeah.
Meeting last night, too.
All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I seconded it.
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. 5-0. All right, the next vote is to appoint Superintendent Lang to the Valley Collaborative Board. He served in that position now for the last 6, well, more than that probably.
Yes, because it's made up of area
Yeah,
superintendents
So-
from the schools that
Yeah.
attend Valley.
Yeah, and he is currently the chairperson of that board. He said he would like to remain in that position. So we do annually take a vote to appoint him to be our representative on that board. So if we're.
Okay. I move that we appoint Dr. Jay Lang to the Valley Collaborative Board of Directors.
I'll second.
Oh, sorry, I totally was not here. My bad.
All right, any other questions on that? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
That was crazy.
Okay, I don't see any field trips in the
do not have
packet,
any
so we
field trips.
don't have any field trips. Any quick liaison reports?
We just met last
I don't think so.
Action items, we meet again next Tuesday, just to remind us. So
Yeah.
because of the vacation, we bumped our meeting. So we meet again next Tuesday. Most likely, we're gonna try to get a photographer in here for 5:30 because we haven't had pictures taken for a
Oh,
while.
thank
with the
God.
Committee.
Thank
So
God.
The superintendent will let us know for sure if they can come that day, but they will take individual headshots and then a group photo. So
They're like 2018 were the photos anyway.
you look much younger then.
Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
any other new items? Okay, great, okay, we don't have any public comment coming in for a second meeting here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Okay.
And then not return, so.
I move that we adjourn to executive session.
And
I'll second.
Okay, and just to add to it, and to not to return to regular session. So once we
And-
enter, we won't come back.
And we will not be returning to regular session.
Yeah, and then this is to discuss strategy with respect to negotiations.
Oh, we have to say all this? Oh,
That's
wow.
okay, that's fine.
Okay, well, hold on, let me try.
All right.
Hold on.
I move that we adjourn to executive session. We will not be returning to a regular session, and we're doing this for the purpose of contract negotiations.
I will second.
Wonderful.
All right, we have the roll call on this. Diana,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Maria?
Aye.
Aye, great.
Take 5.
All right, take 2 seconds and just